Are you looking for a new, eco-friendly way to check out the sights and sounds of Sydney? Well, why don't you try seeing Sydney by bicycle? Take a ride around town and rediscover the magic of the Opera House, the Harbour Bridge and the Botanic Gardens. Bonza Bike Tours, located in the Rocks, opened its doors in 2004 and offers a wide range of tours around the city as well as bike hire. Convinced that there was nothing I've never seen or done in Sydney, I braved the bicycle and strapped on a helmet. The Sydney Highlights Tour, which runs for about 2.5 hours, takes tourists on a loop around the city, from the Rocks to Walsh Bay to Chinatown and back around the Domain and Botanic Gardens. And after only half an hour of riding, even I was beginning to experience places I'd never been before.
We've just ridden all around from the Rocks here to Walsh Bay. As you can see, the views are stunning and many Sydney-siders wouldn't even come here on a regular outing.
Observatory Hill offered another staggering view of the harbour, made all the more rewarding after a strenuous ride up the hill. And what surprised me the most about the tour is how much I enjoyed just cycling around. Although I was a bit wobbly after almost 10 years off a bike, some of the open spaces, and who knew they still existed in Sydney, offered a great opportunity to let go and let your pedals rip.
So our guides just told us that this area, which is actually vacant land at the moment, has actually been converted for the meantime into a bike path, which I never knew about, and I'm sure many people on the tour didn't know about. So yeah, it's great for just riding around and stretching your legs.
The tour then entered some dangerous territory, the city streets.
If it's not too busy, you might be able to ride down the main street of Chinatown. Other than that, you'll have to skip it, depending on that. It looks quite busy today, so you know,
It's scary. It's a bit vulnerable in the city.
Although it was a Sunday and the streets were packed with people, our guide handled us really well. The tour's number one priority is the safety of their guests, so the route is adapted slightly depending on the traffic and pedestrian activity of the day. Where possible, our guide led us onto footpaths to keep us off the roads. Perhaps the only disappointment of the day occurred in the Botanic Gardens, but it was more so the fault of a city which has failed to embrace cycling rather than the tour itself.
We're actually not allowed to ride our bikes to the Botanical Gardens, so we have to walk them all the way around to the Opera House.
The tour ended just as dusk began to fall, and by then it really did feel as if we'd been on an epic adventure through the city, and I had the bumps and bruises to prove it. Not only was this tour an eco-friendly way to see the city, but it was definitely a great workout and a lot of fun. So why not straddle a bike and spend an afternoon being a tourist a little bit closer to home?